Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline from She Rises Studios, and welcome to a powerful live panel discussion for Beyond the Hurts, Finding Forgiveness in Unexpected Ways. This extraordinary book has already touched our hearts around the world, and we are thrilled to celebrate this incredible anthology and the amazing woman behind it because Beyond the Hurt is officially a USA bestseller in five categories, including in Kindle Store, self-esteem, self-help, biographies and memoirs of women, personal transformation, and this ranked number 38 in the new releases in self-esteem, self-help. So Beyond the Hurt is a testament to the power of grace, the courage to face pain, and the strength it takes to choose forgiveness. Whether you're walking through your own hurt or supporting someone who is, this discussion is here to remind you that healing is possible and that you are never alone. So let's welcome our panel of inspiring authors and step into this next chapter of connection, courage, and hope. Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Well, we're very much excited that you ladies are all here today. Now, each of you brings a unique story to this anthology. Can you share what led you to say yes to being part of Beyond Her? Would like to
Sure.
start.
Sure, I can
Yeah.
start. So my name is Sonia Rodriguez. I'm a psychotherapist and a women's life transition coach. And so for a number of reasons, I wanted to be a part of this anthology from my own journey, my own healing journey, as well as from the lens of a psychotherapist and the different things that we can do to recover from our challenges or traumas. So I thought it was a great opportunity to share a little bit about my own story, as well as offer some insights into how people can navigate through a difficult time in their lives.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you so, Sonia, for sharing that.
Sure, thank you.
Felice or Yulissa?
Hi, everyone. I'm Felice Garcia, the founder and CEO of Felice Love and Light. I also host a podcast, Sharing Your Miraculous Life with Felice, and I just launched a new radio website that helps to inspire people on Life 365. And it's what led me to doing this chapter is I come from a small community in northern New Mexico, Chimayo. It's a very holy place, but it also comes from there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of tragic experiences that happen in trauma. And so I felt like my story really could help other people going through things when they're young, and they don't realize how much it impacts their life long term. And so that's the path that I'm really going on as I move forward in my next chapter, is being able to support people going through traumatic experiences and being able to work through those through healing and through forgiveness.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Felice. Yulissa?
Hi, everybody. I decided to join the anthology. I am a licensed clinical social worker. So my day-to-day work consists of having therapy sessions with many people. And I realized that in my work that sometimes doing what we call disclosing or sharing some of my personal experiences and triumphs helped my clients to not only build a closer relationship with me, but to learn how they can continue to grow and build, to see a light at the end of the tunnel. They feel down and, like they can't see progress in their life. And to be able to join a project that allowed me to share my own struggle and how I was able to get to where I am today, I think would also help a lot of other people that I don't get the chance to reach on my day to day.
I understand. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Abigail. We were just, yes, hi. So I was just asking them, what led them to say yes to Beyond the Hurt. Would you like to share yours?
Yes. Hi, everybody. For me, so I would say back in 2018, I started a business around coaching for forgiveness, and really showing the relationship between unforgiveness and illness when we don't let go, when we take on those ineffective coping mechanisms. I was going through my own issues with forgiveness and wanted to forgive, but didn't really know how. And so then I was blessed with, by God, a whole entire ministry and business around forgiveness. And so when I saw this come up, and I was like, on my feed, I guess, I'm not sure, I guess it may have been an email, maybe it was on, I don't know, Facebook or something. And so I was like, this is right up my alley. This is what I do. And then I also wrote a book on forgiveness. So this was just right in line with my goals to reaching people and giving them tools to how to forgive so that they can live a more purposeful life.
That's wonderful. And I love that you mentioned people, we wanted to forgive, but we sometimes don't know how to do it, right? So maybe I can ask everyone in this group as well, what does forgiveness really mean to you? And how does that define, or how did you begin that particular journey of forgiveness? Anybody would like to share?
I'll go first. Me, I always tell everyone I'm a therapist that believes in having a therapist. Forgiveness to me was a unfamiliar term. It was kind of you just move past things. You learn to accept the apology that you don't get. It's kind of brushed under the rug. And so for me, I had to have someone guide me and navigate what that looked like for me. It took a couple of years, based on my personal experience and all the things that I had gone through by that point. But I really needed someone to help me get past myself. There was this thought of forgiveness being for that person, and I don't want to grant them this. They don't deserve this. And I had to really learn that forgiveness was for myself and my own healing. Like Abigail mentioned, there's a lot of things that manifest physically. And, I've been battling illness for a while, and it was like all this trauma that was built up. And so I realized that I needed to forgive for myself, but I needed to also look past myself. They say as a therapist, don't help people that you're too close to. So it was definitely, with all the tools that I knew, it wasn't enough to help myself. I needed someone outside of the scenario to guide me through it so that I could do it the correct way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And a lot of people, well, if not everyone, most of us, sees forgiveness as a destination. But your stories have revealed in this book that it's an actual journey. Can anyone share a surprising step on that path for you?
I'm happy to share, also from a lens of
Yes,
a psychotherapist.
yes.
I think what's important is the concept of post-traumatic growth and looking at things from the lens that the things that happen to us are usually happening for us to grow, for us to learn, for us to make the changes that we've been reluctant to make. And through my own experiences, when I was going through them, I said, why is this happening to me? But once I did the healing work myself, and I've helped others do this similar work, you're able to come to terms to say these things needed to happen in order for me to move in another direction or to understand things from a different approach. But that usually we can foster resilience and understand post-traumatic growth through these hardships and through these traumas and challenges. And so I think that that's been helpful to understand that we all go through things because we need to grow and we need to shift directions. Sometimes we can't stay stagnant in something that's not working for us. Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's very insightful. And did writing, and anybody can share, jump in here. Did writing your story uncover new layers of your healing that you hadn't processed before?
Shut down.
Anyone who'd like to? Anybody who'd like to share that?
For me, it
You know,
took the
you,
shame. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Somebody speak. For me,
yeah.
it took
Go
the
ahead. Go
shame
ahead.
out of the experience. I
Mm,
think that was the last part that I didn't realize was still there. My experience included my experiences with my mom. And so I constantly have to deal with the questions and curiosity around that dynamic. And I realized that there was still a little shame there associated with what I had gone through and what that relationship looked like. And it allowed me to kind of wrap things up. Although I had reached a level of forgiveness, there were still some parts that included my healing. Like you mentioned, it's a journey, and I think it's a ongoing journey.
and that's true. And people might think that forgiveness is just a one, two, three kind of step, and then you're done. But in actuality, it's a journey, and as most of your stories have actually showed, that you go through a certain journey. It's not just a one, two, three step towards forgiveness. Janet, thank you so much for joining us today. Maybe I can throw this question to you. How did the process of being part of a collective of women sharing their stories impact your own healing journey?
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part. There's a bit of an echo.
So sorry about that. Yes. Well, I was just asking is, well, how did uh, the process of being part of this anthology, a collective of women working with a collection of women sharing their stories, impact your own journey of healing and forgiveness?
Um, just the collaboration, the connection, knowing that you're not alone, the support. I mean, everything is on the other side of healing and connection within and with others.
That's right. And, it just shows that truly when you have to go and this, if when people start reading your book, it will show that you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to go through this journey on your own. Many stories in Beyond the Herd speak to deep personal transformation. What did you ladies discover about your own strength through this process? Was there any personal transformation during your personal transformation? Was there something that you've discovered? This is this is part of my strength. It's not actually a weakness or something like that.
Sure. My chapter was really about intuition and the power of intuition.
Mm,
That I always felt like things were wrong, but I didn't necessarily have the evidence for it. So I felt like we have to pay attention to when something doesn't feel right. And so I think that I've
mm.
learned that that's very powerful, is to really pay attention to how we're feeling. And if something doesn't feel right, that's sometimes enough. You don't necessarily need to have the concrete evidence. And then just that you can always rebuild, and that sometimes we think things are broken, but you can always rebuild things, whether you're rebuilding from scratch or trying to put the pieces together, but that you can definitely create a new life, a new journey, a new chapter.
That's wonderful. I love that.
Thank you.
I think for me, dealing with infertility, it really made me think about, the waiting season. I had to wait a long
Mm,
time to be able to bring my twin daughters to the world. And I think it's just that ongoing process, like you mentioned, about forgiveness is an ongoing. And writing the chapter, I realized how much I still need to forgive. And it's a continuous thing, forgiving myself, forgiving others for hurting our family and in traumatic experiences. So I think it's an ongoing process, and it really helped me to be able to be a good mom to my little twin girls, so that they are able to forgive easily, and for them not to hold on to anything. And one lesson I did learn from my husband is trying to not hold on to anything for more than 5 minutes. So we've been practicing that a little bit, as far as like if we're upset with each other, we talk about it. and try to resolve it as soon as possible.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Well, for the other ladies, what advice would you give to someone who feels stuck in their own pain and isn't sure where to even begin with forgiveness?
I think it's important for them to understand that, again, as we've discussed, that it's a process, and to give
Mm-hmm.
themselves grace, and to
Mm,
understand that everybody don't arrive at the same time. So someone may be able to easily, to forgive more easier than someone else, and just understand it's a process, and then seek help. I think the first thing we have to realize is that we have to want it, right? Because if we don't want the forgiveness, then it makes it that much, difficult to do. And I've met people like that. They're just not ready to forgive.
mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
helping individuals understand that if you're not ready, it's okay. But at least you have that
Mm-hmm.
desire to want to forgive, and then give yourself grace, understand it's the process, and then seek help. Where can you find help to? Where can you go to get help from someone, and guidance and tools to be able to start the process? So I think that's just extremely important.
That's wonderful. I love that. Anybody else would like to share?
I think it is important to start by acknowledging where you are. Like she mentioned, sometimes you're not ready to start that forgiveness process. And something that I really paid attention to as I was going through this and writing the story was support. How important support was. In that journey, I felt so alone. Going through this
Mm,
scenario, I felt so alone, like I had to do everything on my own. But as I actually wrote the story, I realized there were so many people that were intricate along the way to essentially help me rebuild, help me heal, rather that was seasonal or long term. It's important to have a support system while you're going through this, because there are going to be good days and bad days. And sometimes you don't have all that you need to get through it. And that's where it's important to have someone else that you can lean on, whether that's a friend, family member, coworker, whatever that looks like in your story. I think that that's very important, to not go through it alone.
I agree.
wonderful, wonderful. Yes,
Oh, sorry.
yes,
I was just going
Janet.
to say, I agree 100% that I think most of us on our healing journeys think we're alone in the moment, and we're
Mm-hmm.
never alone. We're all connected, and we don't know till we know it. And that's part of what healing is just learning to become aware of ourselves.
That's true. It's just a matter of making yourself, reaching out, making yourself available and being open to someone to help you and, go through this particular process. Well, if you could go back and speak to your past self at the height of your hurt, what would you say? Maybe this I can throw to everyone.
I can start. I would say just be patient, enjoy the current moment. Your blessing will come, God will bless you, but just take a breath and forgive yourself. Just love yourself. That's really important, to
Mhm.
love yourself.
Thank you, Felice. Sonia?
I would say this is happening for you, not to you. You will survive it,
Mhm.
and your life will be better because of it.
Thank you, Sonia. Janet?
For me, I think it's a combination of a few things, because for myself, most of my stuff was pre-verbal, so I had no knowledge of any of it, and I'm still working through processing the energy from my body to connect completely. So I guess just never give up on yourself, or the feeling that you have that you're meant for more, because you usually are.
Abigail?
I would say healing is possible, and
Mhm.
healing is purposeful. And that although this has occurred, healing is there for you. Tomorrow will be a brighter day. And then from this, we grow from it and learn the tools and how to apply situations, in our lives, to be able to grow and develop from them.
Thank you so much, Abigail. Julissa?
I would start by saying you are loved and you are worthy of love. I had to learn to adjust to what the thought of family looks like. And it's not always what you're born into, it's what you create.
Mm-hmm.
And once I reached that level of acceptance, I would also tell myself that this is temporary. When you're going through a trauma, it seems like it's going to last forever. And it's really hard to see that light at the end of the tunnel. So knowing that that moment isn't going to last forever would be very important when I was going through the struggle.
It's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Maybe as we close this discussion today, what will be a one line or a moment from Beyond the Hurt in your story that you would like, that made an impact, a real impact to you, and you'd like to pass it on to your readers?
I would say just to know that you're not alone, and I believe that that was already brought up. Reach out for the right support. Reach out to
Mm-hmm.
friends, family, colleagues, professionals. You don't have to navigate so many things on your own. To connect, that power of connection and feeling like you're connected and supported is important.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sonia. Anybody else would like to share? Any last few words to our listeners today?
To me, it's all about authenticity. If you're not
Mm.
aligned within with your heart, mind, body, and soul, you're not going to attract your right tribe. And they're out there. You just have to be your authentic yourself, and they will find you.
Wonderful. I love that.
For me, I would say probably, get unstuck. If there's something that's holding you back from being your best self, from being, going back to school even, or getting the job that you want, or moving on into a healthy relationship, letting go of the baggage that's preventing you from moving forward. And we're here to help you. And if help is needed, then I'm willing to do that.
Wonderful. I love that. Get yourself unstuck. And you don't have to do it alone.
Right.
You can always ask help from people and pull you out.
That's right.
Yes, Felice, you'd like to share anything?
Sorry.
So I would like to say prayer. I prayed for a community, and God blessed me with a church community that continued to pray for me through my journey. And so I think community is really important, and being able to reach out to those that can pray for you as well.
That's wonderful. Yes. Thank you. Julissa, you were...
Yeah, I was going to say in my chapter, I mentioned how I refuse to let my experience define me. I think that our experience shape and guide us towards where we're really supposed to be, but I am not my trauma. I do not own that. I do not claim that, but it has helped to shape me and allow me to help others. And I think that we all have a story, our own testimony, however you choose to look at it, that can help someone else.
That's wonderful. I love that. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you to all the authors who have contributed to this anthology. Thank you for showing us that forgiveness, while not always easy, is one of the most powerful gifts that we can give to ourselves. Your stories are a light for anyone still navigating their own pain. And to everyone that's listening to us today, if you haven't yet, Beyond the Hurt, Finding Forgiveness in Unexpected Ways is now available on Amazon. And this book is your companion in healing, a mirror for your strength, a reminder that there is hope on the other side of pain. Thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, sometimes the most unexpected path leads to the most deepest peace. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.